Records. Robert, good afternoon. Welcome to the City World Radio Network.
Man, how you doing, John? Great to be here with you.
Robert, it's been a long time since you and I have been behind the microphones together.
Quite a bit. Yeah, we started a long time ago together, and good to be back again.
And it's always a pleasure to have you here at City World. And the reason why Robert is here today, that Robert wants to pay tribute to a good friend of his who passed away recently. His name is Mr. Ernie Barry, and Ernie is a vocalist and musician, and Robert here is going to tell us a little about Ernie's past and present. So let's take it away with Robert. Robert, tell us what's your affiliation is with Ernie Barry.
Well, I met Ernie Barry quite a few years ago, and we were in a club together singing. I didn't pay much attention to Ernie at the time. He didn't pay much attention to me, but he had just completed a CD, and he needed some promotion for it, and he needed a record label, so the radio channels would play it. So I had just started my record label at the time called Missy Girl Records, and I said, well, if you want to come on the record label, you're free to come to the house, and we'll start talking some business. So he did, and we got the thing started, and the CD took off pretty well, and it's called Moon Over Brooklyn.
Okay, and we're going to be playing some tracks from Ernie's fabulous CD during the course of the show. Tell us about Ernie's background, how he started singing, where he's performed, etc.
Well, Ernie is from Framingham, Massachusetts, small town not far from Boston, and his family is the Barbieri family if you come from Italy, and if you're New York or a city guy, it's just Barbari. And Ernie didn't want to use the name, so he just shortened it to Ernie Barry. And Ernie Barry is an unusual entertainer because his genre of music is swing. He loves swing, and he loves country. He's done everything, but his unusual thing is he's an accordion player. That was his main thing, is playing the accordion. So you don't see too many accordion players out there doing all sorts of music like Ernie could do. And he's very famous in that area because he's played some amazing places. He's played the Copacabana, the old Copacabana here in New York, the original one. And he holds the record, which has never been beaten, of 72 consecutive shows. And that's a pretty amazing feat. He's played with all the big greats, for the big greats, Sammy Davis, Bobby Darin, to name a few, Tom Jones. Just an amazing assortment of people he's played for. He's met so many people. And, he's played a lot of other places. He's played down in Puerto Rico. He's played all over the world, the San Juan Hotel down in Puerto Rico. So he's a very diverse guy. He's done everything. And his logo used to be, and I guess it always will be, a man of 1,000 songs. So I'd like to start off with one of his great songs off the CD called Yes, Dear.
Okay, Jade, our engineer, is going to cue up the CD, and we're going to hear from Ernie Barry and a song called Yes, Dear. Okay, we're having a little technical difficulty here, so just give Jade a couple of minutes here, and we'll get the song ready. How long has Ernie been performing?
Ernie started singing as a little kid, actually. He started the accordion. His whole family's pretty well-versed in music, and he continued from a kid, leaving Framingham to go into the Air Force. And he performed while he was up in Alaska. He's played when he got out. He was different assortment of different clubs called the couple of places in Brooklyn, the Brown Derby, all places that are gone now, but they were all famous places at the time. And Ernie has he's had some amazing things happen to him in his life, and so many people have known him. And when he passed away just recently, he passed away on January 1st, and I just had a feeling. I said, you just can't let somebody just go to rest that way without saying one more last great thing about him. And that's why I wanted to do the show today here with John Lombardi and just bring out to light the amazing man that Ernie Barry was.
Yeah, I'm looking at his flyer here, and he's got some amazing performances here, performing at the Sheraton and Lowe's hotel chains. And as you mentioned earlier, playing in the Copacabana for 72 weeks straight. Also, he owned his own club in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. And besides that, performing at many catering halls in Westbury and Russo's and the Waldorf Hotel and the Plaza in St. Regis. So obviously, Ernie He's been in business a very long time, and it's obviously that he's well established.
Absolutely. Ernie Barry's was some kind of a place. He put that place together like from a matchstick on up. I mean, he put a lot of work into it. It wasn't a fancy place, but people just, went there by the groves of people. They just stopped there. It was the greatest place to go on the weekend. So I think we're ready right now to get Yes Dear rolling. By the way, this song Yes Dear was written by a guy named Paul Parsons. He's not a big songwriter. He just wrote this one song, his biggest song, I guess. He's an orthopedic surgeon, very good friends with Ernie, and it's an amazing song. It's done so well by all the people who have listened to it. So here it is, Yes Dear.
Two words I've learned to live by, yes dear. To all questions I reply, yes dear. Doesn't matter what the case, I put on a happy face, and I say the words I've learned to live by, yes dear. Can I empty out one of your pockets, yes dear? Could I use up one of your credit cards? Yes, dear. You know the money we've been saving, there's a stress that I've been craving. Would it be all right with you? Yes, dear. Well, it started when I told her I love you, and it ended at the altar. What I do now to keep the peace in life, stay on the good side of my wife. The only words that matter, yes dear. So do you love me like you used to? Yes dear. And do you like my brand new hairdo? Yes dear. Am I your one and only? When I'm gone, do you feel lonely? To all questions I reply, yes dear. Well, it started when I told her I love you, and it ended at the altar. What I do now to keep the peace in life, stay on the good side of my wife. The only words that matter, yes dear. So do you love me like you used to? Yes, dear. And do you like my brand new hairdo? Yes, dear. Am I your one and only? When I'm gone, do you feel lonely? To all questions I reply, yes, dear. She knows I'll never lie, yes, dear.
Okay, we're listening to the late, great Ernie Barry. That was a great tune entitled Yes, Dear. Robert, can you tell us about that song? Is that original composition, or is that one of those hidden gems that has been around for a long time that's not usually heard?
Well, like I said, it was done by Paul Parsons, and the song had a lot of play down in Tennessee, where Paul is from. Actually, what's his name? Tim McGraw and his wife both performed it down there at one of the festivals. I'm surprised he didn't pick it up at the time, but since then I have become the publisher on the song, and the song, as you could hear, is about the subservient husband that wants to keep a happy life by keeping a happy wife, and Ernie does a great job with the dramatics and the singing on that song, so it's really a well-loved song.
You know, it's a great tune, and it's something I could see Michael Bublé putting a twist on it, too. It's some material that he could definitely, something in his style and his genre.
You're right.
Great tune.
I hope I could get it to him one day, so we could get it out there even further, because it is a great song, as well as some of these other ones that you'll see coming up.
Well, it's true. You never know sometimes how music gets to performers, so there's always hope. Maybe he'll perform that. So anybody knows how to get to Michael Bublé, just let us know. All right, so well, once again, if you just tuned in, we're on the air with a special program, a special edition of Lounging with Lombardi here in the City World Radio Network and our sister station, Skies Crescent Radio. We're joined by my good friend, Mr. Robert Mirra, paying tribute to a good friend of his, the late, great Ernie Barry, who just passed away January 1st, and we're playing some great music from his CD. We're learning a little bit about Ernie's past, and I have some more information here, and it just says that according to Ernie's favorite accolades, he appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and he got a standing ovation from Count Basie and Hazel Scott, standing ovation from the great cellist Pablo Casals, playing for Bobby Rydell the Copa, singing with Tony Lando, and playing many nights with Martha Ray the Copa and Jack Dempsey's, and also playing a lot of the great legendary venues here in New York, Copacabana, and etc. So obviously, I'm glad that my good friend Robert brought this CD to my attention here, and I'll be playing this CD in my regular programs on Tuesday in the future. So always check my Facebook page, Lounging with Lombardi, and let you know when we're playing all this great music. So, Robert, once again, I want to thank you for bringing this great music to my attention. It's always a pleasure to have you here and turn people on to great music.
Well, I know you like swing, John. That's no secret. And as you'll see as we go through the CD here, Ernie picked these songs and put his own twist on them. And every song on here pretty much has a swing kind of background to it. There's a couple that don't, but most of them do. And there's a couple of unusual ones that were done by other artists that you would never imagine being done in a swing version. But Ernie pulled it off, and he did a great job with it.
And you know me, I always like the uniqueness.
Absolutely.
Okay. What can you tell us about this CD, Moon Over Brooklyn? That's the title of the CD?
That's the cover song, Moon Over Brooklyn. And Ernie Barry, like I said, is from Framingham, Massachusetts. He grew up there. His family's well-known there. They have a place called Barberry Farms. They own a lot of property up there. There's a school named after the Barberries. They're very well-known in that area. But Ernie left there, and when he came back out of the military and all his travels, he wound up in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, which became his second home. He just loved Brooklyn so much, and he just never wanted to move out. He eventually did in recent years, but due to health. But Brooklyn was his real second home away from home. And so he heard the song Moon Over Brooklyn, which is a very old song done by Guy Lombardo originally. And Ernie said, you know what, I love this song. And when you hear the song later on, we'll play it later on in the show, you'll see some of the flavor that comes from up in the New England area. He puts a couple of words in there and changes some of the words around. But we'll play that later for you. But it's a great song. And actually, one funny thing, when he brought me the CD and I was putting together all the rest of the work to finish off the CD, I found out that from my cousin that Moon Over Brooklyn happened to be my mother and father's song when they were dating. So it became a very special project to me.
Wow, that's a fantastic story. All right, what's the next track here on this fabulous CD?
All right, this song here is called Bottoms Up, and it was done on a short not a YouTube, but a short film segment on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. By the way, Ernie Barry's son, Anthony Barry, is the head comedic writer for the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And so I go out to L.A. once in a while. I've been invited out to the Kimmel Show there. When it comes to Brooklyn once a year, I go over there too. And just a great family. So great to be around. They're a lot of fun and everything. So this song here was sung by Jimmy Kimmel on a short clip on the show. He's driving around in the car, and he's singing this song, and it's called Bottoms Up.
While I'm at the bar where we used to go, drinking it up, feeling mighty low. I wish that she were here, sitting next to me. But old times again, I guess they can never be. So fill my cup, bottoms up, pour me a beer to hide the tear that's coming up. Well, here she comes,
Here she comes,
walking through the door, looking better than she ever did before. She looked right at me, but I could see that her and I, we were never meant to be. So fill my cup,
just fill my cup.
bottoms up,
Here's bottoms up.
pour me a beer to hide the tear that's coming up. Well, she smiled at me,
She smiled at me,
but she walked right by.
she walked right by.
Then she sat next to some other guy. Well, I love her so, but she don't know. I guess there's nothing left except for me to go. So fill my cup, bottoms up, pour me a beer to hide the tear that's coming up.
So fill my cup,
Bottoms up, pour me a beer
to hide the tear. Bottoms up,
pour me a beer to hide the tear. Bottoms up,
bottoms up.
pour me a beer to hide the tear. Bottoms up.
All right, another great little hidden gem there. Bottoms Up, as performed by Ernie Barry, who my guest host, Mr. Robert Mirra, and myself are paying tribute to this afternoon here on the special edition of Lounging with Lombardi, which your host DJ John Lombardi from the greatest city in the world, New York, New York. Now, I like that kind of medley. It had like a little shuffle rhythm in there, and that's something I probably think that back in the day, Louis Prima would have done that if he had known about it, you know.
Most likely.
Yeah,
Most
that's
likely.
something I could see because I was listening to the bass line there and a little bit of the shuffle rhythm there, and it's a catchy tune, you know. So maybe I can get my good friend Ray Gelato to take care of that.
Maybe. You know, the funny thing about Bottoms Up is written by a girl out in Long Island, good friend of mine, Joni. And the song, she just recently, because I'm doing some publishing work with her on the song, and the funny thing about the song was originally written as a very slow country western song. So as I said before, you can see Ernie has his own particular way of just spicing up the music, and he does a really good job with it.
Yeah, as I said, it had a little bit of country flavor too. But as I said, I was listening to the bass line. I said it just reminded me of you know, classic shuffle rhythm that Louis Prima would use, you know, in his arrangements of his great music here. Is this CD available, Robert?
It's still available. It's going to be more widely available in the future. We took a little hiatus here when Ernie took ill, and so we're going to make a resurgence of the CD. That's what I'm trying to do a little bit right now here, just let people out there feel familiar with it. So if they like it, they can contact me right now if they'd like a copy. I'm the only guy that has the copies right now of the CD at www.robertmirra.com. And the email would be robertmirra at AOL.com or mirrorrecords@AOL.com. And you can contact me if you really like what you're hearing tonight, and I can get you a copy out. But it will be out again, and it's going to be played on a lot of radio channels coming up here in the near future.
Yes, and as I mentioned earlier, one of my future broadcasts on my normal recording and broadcasting on Tuesdays, I will include this in a future broadcast as well.
That's great.
And I will let Robert let you know and let his family know when they can tune in and so on and so forth. You know, so this is definitely something that I want to add to my repertoire.
It's a fun CD, it really is.
Yeah, and of course, what's being fun about it is that you get to hear stuff you normally don't hear. And
Exactly.
You know, and you know me, Robert. I like I like the hidden gems. I like uniqueness.
Exactly.
And I like something that not everybody is and his brother play on the airwaves. You know,
Exactly.
so
We
to
call
speak.
them warm chestnuts.
Yeah, I like to call them hidden gems. You know, that's it. All right, so once again, we're here on the City World Radio Network. Excuse me. We're here on the City World Radio Network and our sister station, Sky's Crescent Radio, with a special edition of Lounging with Lombardi, paying tribute to my co-host, Robert Mirra's good friend, Ernie Barry, a great musician and performer who unfortunately passed away in January. So we want to get Ernie's music heard to our listening audience. And, of course, we'd like to keep his memory alive by promoting his music and have Robert, on his behalf, sell his great music. How many CDs has Ernie recorded? It's just this one here?
Actually, back in the day when he started, he did a lot of singles. He actually, they're very old singles. I have them. I have the copies of them. They were actually done on, I don't know the exact process, but they're done on a metal round disc plate, and they only have one layer of wax, a one-time cut. And I have a lot of these. I don't really know the names. And one is called the Italian Santa Claus. That's one of them. And maybe we'll do that at another time there during the holidays for you. But he's done a lot of little things through the years, but this is his only actual CD, and I'm very happy to say that he came to me, and I heard the CD, and he wanted to be on my Missy Girls record label, and that's what pushed this CD out there.
Oh, that's great. Those discs that you mentioned are probably old masters, you know, the original, what they called, you know, demo copies. And that's,
Right,
you know, that's what
demos.
it is, yeah. So you never know. You might have some hidden gems in there, and maybe you never know. We can get them on a disc in the future.
That would be a great thing to do. Eventually, when I have some time, I'm going to try to do that because I probably have around maybe 8 or 10 of them. So that would be enough to put a CD together if they're worthwhile songs to put out.
This is true, and all depends on the condition.
Exactly.
of the
That's what
CD.
I'm saying, worthwhile. I'm sure the music is all great, but, you know, they're very old, so we got to see how they sound.
This is true. All right, but we do have a Martin CD here when moving along here. And then what is the track number 3 here, Robert, from this fabulous CD?
This is a fun song called Honky Tonk, and we'll just leave it at that and see what you think of it, okay?
Okay, Jade, give us Honky Tonk.
They started dancing in the Southland, a dance they really thought was new. But when the news got to the Northland, the folks up there were doing it too. Now you hear everybody say, honky tonk is here to stay. Now when you hear the tenor honk, you got to do the honky tonk. He blows the music on the sax, and everybody answers back. We like to do the honky tonk. We like to do the honky tonk. Just take some rock, then add some roll, some Lindy Hop. That's not too old. Just put them together. That's the honky tonk. Count 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop sliding, cross that floor. You go right. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step like they're gonna hold your honey so tight. We're gonna dim the lights and we'll dance all night. The honky tonk. Across that floor you go riding. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step like they're gonna hold your honey so tight. We're gonna dim the lights and we'll dance all night. The honky tonk. 'Cause when you hear the tenor honk, you got to do the honky tonk. music on the sax, and everybody answers back. We like to do the honky-tonk. We like to do the honky-tonk. We're gonna dim the lights and we'll dance all night the honky-tonk.
All right, that great tune we just heard was called Honky Tonk, performed by Ernie Barry, who we are paying tribute to here on the City World Radio Network and our sister station, Skies Crescent Radio, with my guest host here, co-host Mr. Robert Mirra. Robert, that was a great tune. It had a little mixture of a little rock and roll in there, a little bit of swing, and, of course, a little bit of country rock. Great tune.
Might be another good one for Ray Gelato.
You never know. Might have to send him a copy of this here.
Well, as you can hear in that song, it had some wailing saxophone in that song, and the sax was played by a very famous saxophone player called Jerry Weldon, and he happens to be Harry Connick Jr.'s lead saxophone player, and he just does a wonderful song, a wonderful a rendition of the sax on that thing. He just really makes it wail on there. He is also, just to let you know, he's also on Yes Dear on the CD as well, and Honky Tonk. So Jerry Weldon, applause out to him for doing such a great job with Ernie.
Yes, there are also some great musicians on their CD as well. You want to read off the personnel first?
I'll let you know some of the musicians. We have on alto sax Andy Fusco, trombone is John Fedcock, guitar is Jay Berliner, very famous guy. Bass players is Jay Lenhart, and drums is Ron Zito. All very well-accomplished musicians in the music industry. I'm
familiar with a lot of those names. They were definitely great studio musicians here, that's for sure. And great CD that you put together here for Ernie, Robert.
Well, thank you. It was very much a joy for me to do this CD, because I really never heard Ernie put the music together like he did for this particular CD. And a lot of the credit goes for the arrangements to a guy some of you may know, you movie buffs. His name is Angelo DiPippo. And Angelo DiPippo, you may not know this, but he was the accordion player in the wedding scene of The Godfather. So when you ever see the movie again and you see the accordion player crank up the accordion, that's Angelo DiPippo, and he is a magnificent music producer.
Yeah, as you mentioned, obviously that he spared no. I'm going to try to find the right word.
No expenses.
No expenses. Okay, yeah, right, exactly. Getting the top personnel here.
Absolutely.
Between the arranger and the fabulous musicians. And of course, I mean, the material, again, to me, I like the material because it's unique, it's fresh, and it's something that, like he's just another lounge singer or another karaoke guy or something like that, and that guy's come a dime a dozen.
Exactly.
It's obviously that these three tunes that I've heard already, I've never heard them covered by anybody, and they're fabulous.
And there's more to come. There's going to be some more surprising things as we go through the show here that you just won't even imagine a song. I'm not going to name them right now, but when we get to them, the original versions, you can't even imagine them being done any other way than the way they were done originally. But Ernie and Angelo pull it off, and it's just amazing. It's the swing injection that they put into it is just amazing.
What was Ernie's last performance? Do you know? Because obviously you said he took sick and he passed away in January.
Well, Ernie did a lot of local stuff. He worked for Marty Markowitz, which used to be the borough president of Brooklyn. He did a lot of stuff on the yachts out of Sheepshead Bay. He played in Jersey a lot. Matter of fact, a lot of the last performances that Ernie did here in New York, I was with him a few times. We did some things out in New Jersey, some in Staten Island. And he was always well received. He was just a joy. He was a very pleasant man, a happy-go-lucky guy that everybody just loved.
Right. Okay, so let's move along here. We've got still half hour left of this program here. I mean, I could talk to you all day about music and all that. That's for sure. Well, what's the next track here from Ernie's fabulous CD?
Okay, this is the one you've been waiting for, the cover song for the CD, Moon Over Brooklyn. Like I said, it was originally done way back by Guy Lombardo. If you know who Guy Lombardo is, it's definitely was that kind of style back in that day. But once again, Ernie just cranks up the music, and it's an amazing song. And once again, listen for the little overtones of his Boston roots or his Massachusetts roots.
When the sun goes down in Beantown, even on Miami Beach, there's a song they croon in Flatbush. Blue jays tweet on Brighton Beach. Give me the moon over Brooklyn when this whole long day is through. I wanna be walking with my baby on Flatbush Avenue. Give me the moon over Brooklyn when this whole wide world is right. I wanna be dancing with my cutesy Bay Ridge every night. I seen the moon at Bali Bali. I seen the moon over Waikiki. I'd give it all for just one sunset. She said, babe, by the sea. Give me the moon over Brooklyn. Let me dream a dream or two. I wanna be moving with my baby on Metropolitan Avenue. Dream a dream or two. I wanna be walking with my baby on Ocean Avenue.
Give me the moon over Brooklyn when the old wide world is right.
I wanna be dancing with my cutesy in Bay Ridge every night. I seen the moon over Old Cape Cod, San Francisco by the sea. I'd give it all for one Brooklyn ball game. Maybe the Nets could grab one for me. Give me the moon over Brooklyn when this whole long day is through. I want to be walking with my baby on Coney Island Avenue, strutting with my cutie on Emmons Avenue, walking with my baby on Bedford Avenue. I wanna be dancing with my cutesy in Bay Ridge every night.
Take me out to the ball game.
That's right.
All right, Robert, that was another great hidden gem there. Boy, you're just full of surprises.
It's amazing.
First time I'm hearing this CD, and I'm just loving it. And on my regular programs on Tuesdays, obviously, I'm going to put this in the rotation, and I'll definitely let you know, and you can let Ernie Barry's family know. And
be greatly appreciated.
Okay, and for you, those who are listening, my regular shows are on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here from the captain's chair behind microphone number 1, and broadcasting from the City World Radio Network studios and our sister station, Sky's Crescent Radio, from the greatest city in the world, New York, New York. Today is a special program once again. This is my good friend, Robert Mirra. So we go back a long time, paying tribute to a good friend of his, Ernie Barry, who unfortunately passed away in January. And we're paying tribute by playing his music from his fabulous CD, Moon Over Brooklyn. And once again, Robert, give us the information about the CD if the listeners want to pick up this fabulous CD.
Okay, once again, right now, and in the future, once we get the CD reestablished again in the network here, the music network, I'll let John know, and he'll mention to you on his show where it can be bought, and it'll be on the usual places you can buy music: CD Baby, iTunes, Spotify, wherever. It's going to be on every musical channel that you can get into to buy any kind of music that's out there today. But at the moment, it's on Mirra Records at AOL.com, Robert at RobertMirra.com. You can get it there. If you forget the website, you can always contact John, and John will passed a message to me. And as I was telling you earlier about Moon Over Brooklyn, you can hear from the song, all these places that Ernie mentioned were all places that he's either performed or he's loved, and you can hear his roots in the Massachusetts area, mentioning Beantown, and you can also hear his love for Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, where he lived. He had a beautiful apartment that overlooked the south tip of New York City, and he just loved it there.
And that last tune, again, very reminiscent of the classic Louis Prima style with the shuffle rhythm, but that bass and, of course, the honking saxophone. You know, it was a great tune, and I can see my good friends from the Jive Aces or Louis Prima Jr. or Ray Gelato covering that tune. Maybe I can get that tune to them, and you never know, we'll have another rendition of that classic tune.
The more it gets out there, the better. That's how it is with music.
That's for sure. All right, so we still have some music here left here, and we're trying to get all the tracks in here from this fabulous CD. And what is the next track here from Ernie's fabulous CD, Robert?
Well, this one here, I want you to pay special attention to the amazing ideas that was put into this song here by Angelo Di Pippo. It's just not music all the time. It's a lot of, dramatic stuff that makes the song special. And this song's called Lover's Roulette. And I want you to just take notice at the beginning of the song, because it's not singing. It's actually the sound of a roulette wheel going around with the ball spinning, and it drops in the slot, and then the song starts. So that's kind of unusual to start a song that way. It's usually singing and music, but this has a little special dramatic stuff that they add into there. So Angelo Di Pippo did some amazing things on this CD. So here's Ernie Barry with Lover's Roulette.
Game of fools. If I take a chance on another romance, I know the rules. Here is my heart, you can sign, spinning the ball. Cover my bet, lover's roulette, winner take all. What can I lose when the cards are all dealt and the betting stops? What are the stakes when a joker can take the queen of hearts? Here is my life and my love, all I am worth. What can I lose if maybe I win heaven on earth? Chance on another romance, forget the rules. Here's my heart, you can sign, spinning the ball. Cover my bet, lover's roulette, winner take all. Cover my bet, lover's roulette, winner take all. Cover my bet, winner take all. Take it all.
Okay, with the little sound effect in there and the arrangement of this tune, I think, Robert, this is something that Tom Jones or Engelbert Humperdinck would have done back in the Vegas in the 1950s and 60s. What do you think?
I agree 100%. Even Sammy Davis would have did a good number with this one here.
Definitely, that is a Las Vegas tune. I love it.
Absolutely, a great song. I just love the ball dropping in, especially at the end. You hear it rolling in the beginning, and at the end of the song, it drops in the hole. So who knows who wins?
Definitely a Vegas tune from the '60s. And once again, I said I can envision either Engelbert or Tom Jones singing that, right up on the stage, or even
Absolutely,
even Bobby Darin.
Yeah, that's another one. He would have did great with it too.
Right, definitely. Okay. All right, so boy, this clock is moving quickly here. Well, I can talk music with you all day, Robert. But we have to turn the microphone over to Joyce after this. All right, so let's move along. Let's play some more of his great music. Okay, what's the next track here?
All right, now this is one I was telling you about. That's an unusual song. You never expect it to be played this way, and I know John's going to agree with me once he hears it. This song here was really made famous by a great Italian-American singer called Jimmy Rosselli, which he had a hit with this song for 8 weeks at #1. And this song here is a love song about, years of marriage, and the name of the song is When Your Old Wedding Ring Was New. So here's Ernie Barry's version.
Ah, one of my favorite songs.
Be prepared for the swing.
When your old wedding ring was new, and the dreams that we dreamed all came true, I remember with pride while I stood by your side. What a beautiful picture you made as my bride, even though silver crowned your hair. Well, I can still see the gold ringlets there. Love's old flame is still the same as the day I changed your name. When your old wedding ring was new. When your old wedding ring was new.
Your wedding ring was new.
And the dreams that we dreamed all came true.
Those dreams came true.
I remember with pride while I stood by your side. What a beautiful picture you made as my bride, even though silver crowned your hair. Well, I can still see the gold ringlets there. Love's old flame is still the same as the day I changed your name. When your old wedding ring was new. When your old wedding ring was new.
Comes the bride.
All right, Robert, that was a surprise.
I would say so.
Well, back in the day when I was a club jock, and a mobile DJ, obviously I've done a lot of anniversaries, and God knows how many times I played that, but I played it, it was obviously the 50th wedding anniversary, and played that as a down-tempo ballad.
Exactly.
And this is great. Once again, this is something I can envision Louis Prima back in the day, up on the stage singing that, Sam Luthier with the honking sax. And I have two groups now who are my favorites. Actually, three groups, Louis Prima Jr. and my good friend Ray Gelato, and, of course, the Jive Aces. I could see them bringing new life into the song with that great shuffle rhythm, upbeat song. Fantastic, great.
Yeah,
that was Ernie Barry, once again, from a fabulous CD, Moon Over Brooklyn, who we're paying tribute to here with my good friend, my paisan, Robert Mirra, on the City World Radio Network, in conjunction with Sky's Crescent Radio. Love that tune. I love the CD. And it'll be in rotation on a Tuesday in a regular program. Thanks, Robert, for bringing this CD. I really appreciate
you're welcome.
Okay. So, Robert, obviously we found out a little better. Ernie, he's no longer here, so nobody can see him, but we still have his CD, which you said that will go into production soon, so we're able to keep Ernie's music alive. And, of course, I want to move along here because we're going to have to turn the microphone over to Joyce, our next broadcaster. So what is the next tune in this fabulous CD?
Well, this is a pretty unusual tune. If you're from the New York area or maybe the Boston area as well, it's about what we call wise guys or good fellows. But in this case, the song is called Wise Guy, and it was written by Glenn Covington. And it's about the life of the wise guy. It's not always as glorious as it may seem. So take a listen to this one and tell us what you think.
Okay, Wise Guy.
Born on the east side of New York City, fought like hell for every dime, yet grew up to be one hell of a guy. Had a little trouble, did a little time. Wise guy, wise guy, how the hell did you ever get by? You play the game, it's always the same, while most of your mothers are hanging their head in shame. Wise guy, white guy, when it's all over, it's always the same. But one day you're gonna hang your head in shame and wear a number for your name. Wise guy, there are a few chumps like you. Wise guy, somehow you always get by. I know you helped a lot of people, do everything that you can. While even those chumps in Brooklyn that hate you, they gotta admit you're a stand-up man. Wise guy, when it's all over, it's always the same. When you're young, you decide your fate, and then you have to take the blame. But one day you're gonna hang your head in shame and wear a number for your name. Wise guy, there are a few chumps like you hang around the old neighborhood. Wise guy, there ain't nobody left like you.
Now, if we can go back in time, we can bring this to Vegas and sing this right on those Vegas stage.
Only if we could. Only if we could.
That is definitely an old mob song, and it would have been definitely great to have it revived and, by somebody in Vegas.
Well, what I'm going to do is a good friend of Ernie's. His name escapes me at the moment, but he runs the Mob Museum out there in Las Vegas. So he's heard the CD before, but I'm going to bring it to his attention again. Maybe we're going to try to put it for some background music as people walk through the museum.
You know, I was just going to say that, there's something that you would probably put in a loop, and as people come in, that it's just something that would be great, fantastic.
It's a fun song.
It's a fun song, definitely. I tell you, there wasn't one thing bad on this particular CD. I'd never heard the CD before. And, sometimes I'm reluctant to go on air with something I'm not familiar with, but I know the caliber of entertainment that you bring to the table, and
Thank
you know
you.
the caliber of entertainment that I bring to the
Exactly.
table. So we're
one and the same.
We're one and the same. We mesh. We're paisans. We know each other. What's going on here, right? Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left here. So you want to? Is there any particular song you want to play, or you just want to go to the next one?
Well, I tell you, I'd like to do another song on here, but I think we'll close with a song that was really close to Ernie's heart. Ernie was a big swing guy, loved swing immensely, but he also liked country western. I could never understand it, but he was a big country western guy. So this particular song was written by a guy named Joe Mulligan, And it's about a song. It's a country western song, like I said, and it's about a guy who comes to the local, I guess, honky tonk or bar room, saloon, and there's a girl there, and he really loves the girl, but the girl is a prostitute. She doesn't really want nothing to do with him except the money and see you later. So this one's called Angel in the Corner. Hope you like it.
Okay. What track number is that for Jade?
That's track number 12.
Okay.
Hey, look at me. I'm no stranger. I've been here before. Though you never noticed me, I've been in here before. I used to sit right at that table, the one that's set for two. Though you never noticed me, I always notice you. You're that angel in the corner with the devil by your side. He's the one that stole your soul from you, took away your pride. So many men have come and taken you. At his request, I know. Well, I wanna love that angel, but the devil's gotta go. So many nights I sit here watching him, tearing you apart. Don't the devil realize an angel's got a heart? I wanna take that angel out of here, have her for my bride, and no more will she be sitting with the devil by her side. You're that angel in the corner with the devil by your side. When you look at me, you know I see the hurting deep inside. If you walk away, then we can say that was another time. And the angel in the corner can finally be mine. Yeah, that angel in the corner can finally be mine.
That was Angel in the Corner. Ernie, it's been a pleasure to play your music for everybody here. John, thank you for letting me share this with all your listeners. And Ernie, I'll say goodbye to you just like you always used to say goodbye to me. Goodbye, kid. I love you.
Robert, thanks for joining us here at the City World Radio Network. It's been a long time since we got together. I'm glad to see you across the broadcast table once again. And hopefully we can reunite and you come back in the studio again.
I would love it, John.
Of course. You always have open invitation here in City World. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, with my regular program, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right from the captain's chair behind microphone number 1, lounging with Lombardi, broadcasting live from the City World Radio Network studios from the greatest city in the world, New York, New York.
Hi, Grandma. Can Nina come over for dinner?
Sure. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma?
If anyone ever does, I want you to say, no, I have too much respect for my family and I don't want to get in trouble.
I promise, Grandma.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.sam.